Welcome to Artistic Adventures. We're going to start a new project. We've finished up Hocus Pocus, and now we're going to begin, probably going to be a long one, is customizing Blythe. Every detail, everything you want to know. And got a surprise for you. Okay, everyone, let's get started on this video about Blythe. I really love them. I became obsessed with them. I didn't at first. So if you are not, I don't know, maybe just go look at it. I'd say go to Pinterest, search for customized Blythes, and I think maybe you will. Maybe you'll like them as much as I do. And I think what it is that when you customize them, they can really become such little people. And so I want to just start off with a really kind of brief introduction about them, and then hopefully we'll have time in this first video to get into a little bit of how to start the customization. So the first thing I want to say is that all of these dolls are factory Blythes. What that means is they were not originally bought from either the original, back in the 70s, Hasbro Kenner, or currently from the company that owns the rights to the name and everything is Takara in Japan. And they became popular back in the 70s due to that artist that was doing the big-eyed, they were like paintings of big-eyed people and cats and dogs and stuff. Anyway, they weren't that popular, so they went out of business. But the molds were still around, so there are people who have the molds, and they're using the molds to make the faces, and those are called factory Blythes. And so they're not original. Some people don't want to be associated with the personally, I guess how I felt with my first customization was there was no way I was going to start carving into the face of a $200 or $300 doll. I was going to try, the factory Blythes first. And so I personally, I'm okay with it. What can I say? If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I'm just okay with it. So, here's the thing. There's so many different things out there. There's different size Blythes. There's these that are the what's called Neo Blythe, and they're basically 11, 12-inch doll. There's Midi Blythes, and let me just grab one of those really quick to show you what they look like. This is a Midi Blythe, and you can see, next to this doll. And the differences are that the Blythe doll's eyes rotate to different colors and also different positions. So there's a string in the back that you pull, and her eyes will close, and you get a different color eye chip, and then you do it again, you get another eye chip, you go back to the center for an even, her hair's getting tied up with the string, for an even another color. So there's 4 different color eye chips, 2 center gazes, and 1 to each side. So that's the Neo Blythe. The Midi Blythes have a wheel on the back of their head right here, which basically all you can do is just do the eyes back and forth, and there's only one color. So that's Midi Blythe. And of course, my obsession, secondary to just Blythe in general, are the Petite Blythes. And these guys have the sleepy eyes where if they're laid down, you can, they close their eyes, and then if you open them, it's just a gravity thing with the mechanism. They can open them. So there's just all kinds of customizations that you can do to these dolls. And I've customized all 3 sizes. I want to talk in this series simply about the Neo Blythe, so we'll go back to that. But I did just want to show you, that there are the different kinds. So with the Neo Blythes, what I find, I get mine mostly, I think, almost, I guess, 100% from AliExpress. AliExpress, however you say it, which is China, basically China. Okay, so there's so many different ways you can buy them, and this is what I wanted to show you, because when I first bought my very first Blythe, it came the way a Blythe would if you bought an original, and they have, where's my original Blythe body? Oh, here it is. They come with a body that looks like this. Okay, so the arms don't bend, they move at the shoulder, it'll sit down, the waist will turn, and the knees click 3 times. There's 3 clicks mechanism, so they will bend. Okay, so the first thing I kind of think about with customizing is that I think what appeals to me about the Blythes is that they can be put into these scenes or situations, and just the way they look, they just have so much personality. So you can't really get a whole lot of personality or do much to create a setting with a doll that's got this kind of body. You know, it's just not that movable. And that's why we like, you know, the Monster High dolls that have the joints where you can pose them different ways, or those Live dolls that I've worked with, or just the ball jointed dolls in general. So one of the things you can do is get another body. Now you can buy a body separately, like this body I bought some time back, and this came from Sweet Tiger. Sweet Tiger is a shop that specializes in Blythe. They have a lot of Blythe stuff on it, and it's spelled, by the way, with 2 I's. SweetTiger.com, but 2 I's. So this is a body that has the joints. There's different types of these jointed bodies. Some are a little different than others, but the main thing you want to do is have this, you know, neck area that you can fit into the head, and I'll show you more about that as we get into it. Yeah, so, you know, they have this movement at the shoulder, they have the movement at the elbows, they have the wrists, the hands will pop off, and you can buy different hand gestures. Usually they come, you'll see it in 2 sets. One set has certain gestures, and the other set has different gestures. If you start looking into this stuff on Ally, you'll see it, where the dolls can come with that. And I purchased these with this body. And also you see the movement of the legs. They twist at the thigh, at the knee, and also the feet. The feet are also a little bit bigger than the original Blythe. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're buying shoes and stuff. Sometimes if you buy them to fit this doll, they don't fit. I find that most of the time they do, because I think most people customizing, you know, are getting the bigger bodies. So that's one thing. So let me put this back in here so I can keep track of it. Also, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm going through a lot of issues right now with my knees. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I have very severe arthritis, osteoarthritis. And I've already had surgery on my hands for the thumb joints. And those were both done while I was trying to do my channel. So my next surgery is going to be at the end of August. And I'm going to be having knee replacement surgery on my right knee. So I'll be out of work for about 6 to 8 weeks, they say. So that's going to be challenging, and I'll give you some updates during that time. I don't know that I'll be able to post every week, but you know, we'll see how it goes. So anyway, back to the Blythe. So yeah, you can get the different bodies. I had this pack that I bought before I realized you could buy dolls with these bodies on Ally for pretty much cheaper than you could buy the body and the doll separately. I know. But anyway, and I had all these hands, that came with them. These came from Blythe Home, which is another, let me pull this card out, I'll show it the card. They have a lot of Blythe stuff on Ally. So you can also buy a customized Blythe on the site if you don't want to do it yourself, or you don't want to buy one that somebody has done. You want to buy one that a person maybe in China has done. Personally, I'd rather buy them from somebody in the US, like on Etsy, because there's just a whole community of Blythe lovers out there. Once you get into it, you'll meet them, and they're just really great people. So then the other thing I want to say is you can get them with all colors of hair. You can get a white skin, and you can get a natural skin. So it's kind of, I think you can kind of see the difference. Like that's a natural, that's a white. And then of course the black skin or dark skin, however you want to look at it. All kinds of hair. You can get pink hair, you can get dark hair. A lot of them come with long hair, and that's so that you can customize that if you want to keep this hair, but you don't have to. I've actually bought quite a few of these blank scalps. Now you can get them either smooth. I don't know if I have a smooth one. Yeah, see, this one is smooth, or you can get them like this. They have the hole, so you can reroute them. So that's kind of cool. You don't want to buy the whole doll. You're scared to ruin one, although there's really not much difference in the price, to tell you the truth. You could buy a faceplate. You can buy these separately. And I actually did that. The first thing I did, I bought a faceplate. This was before I knew a lot about the pricing and where to get them and all that. Because I was just terrified. Like, I'm going to be using drills or, X-Acto knives or whatever on this face, and I didn't want to ruin it, so I have extra ones. And you can buy these also in all the different colors. You can buy the scalps separate. There's two pieces to the scalp. There's this piece, which is the base, and then there's the actual scalp, and this goes down on that. And we'll show you. So my camera decides to cut off every once in a while, and I've really researched it. I don't know why. Things I've read is it's the memory card. It's not fast enough. I have the biggest, fastest memory card ever, and it still does it. So it just cut off in the middle of what I was saying. So let's continue. Basically what I was saying is, I'll show you more about this later. This was another thing I wanted to show you that's available. I got this off of Amazon, actually. But it's a face, and I mean, you don't even have to have the face, but it came with it. The head part. And it's elf ears. And you can also get like protruding ears, like you would think you would find on a boy with freckles and red hair, with the ears out, like Prince Charles. Anyway, so yeah, these go over the regular ears. They're molded to go over the regular ears. So there's just so many customization options for Blythe. It's one of the really neat things about it. Now, if you want to keep the hair, I mean, the hair is synthetic, and it's whatever you want. You may want to just keep it and cut it into a cute look, or you may want to replace it, and that's kind of what I've done on some of mine. Some of them I've kept the hair, but I usually end up using mohair wefts, which you can buy. And I think I bought these off of Etsy. This came from shopmohairwig.com. You can see that. Anyway, you can get some that are more expensive than others, but basically it's just a row of mohair that has been sewn into a weft at the top. And this is what I tend to use because the alpaca fiber is very thin and it just doesn't lend itself as well. So you'll also find that there are matte skinned dolls like this, and then the others are shiny. If you buy a new one now that's going to have shiny skin, personally, if I was going to keep a doll, not customize it, I like the matte skin, but Really depends on what you like. And like I said, if you buy the new ones, they are shiny. As far as customizing, it doesn't matter because you're going to sand off the shine anyway, so you can get either one. You can actually now buy the doll like this with the jointed body, and it's cheaper than buying like a regular doll and then buying a body and put the body on it. So I've been buying that. If anybody's interested in who I use, I don't have it right in front of me, but I will put a link into a response if you're interested in who I've used to buy these bodies. And I'll tell you to keep an eye out. Don't buy everything at once because these people have sales all the time. They most recently had a sale. You got a doll with the movable body. You got a set of hands, and you got an extra faceplate, which is great if you're a beginner because then you got, you know, one to mess up and one to keep if you do, or you know, however that works out. But it's nice that they give you an extra faceplate just in case. And I think that I got those for like $35 for everything, the doll, the hands, the extra faceplate, and everything. So they'll run specials every once in a while. You just kind of have to keep looking and going over there to the AliExpress site, and you kind of get a feel for it after a while, who has what and who's the cheapest. So, and like I said, if you have any questions, you can always make a comment and I'll respond. So I wanted to show you a couple of dolls that I had customized just so you could see the difference. One of the things that you'll notice about customized dolls is that their eyes the gaze has been raised. On the original dolls, the gaze goes down, and on these dolls, the gaze has been raised, and we do that to the mechanism, and that'll be part of what I'm going to be showing you in the whole customization process. The other thing that you'll see on customized dolls, instead of having one string like this is how they would come, and this opens and closes the eye. Basically it closes it and then it automatically opens on its own because there's a spring inside the head. But one of the things customizers do is they take advantage of the mechanism and how it can be manipulated, and we can add 2 strings, and also, you know, you're going to want to have some pretty beads and charms on your strings. That's a whole nother part of it. But anyway, you have 2 strings, and the way you manipulate the inside, which we'll do, you can have what's called sleepy eyes. So I pull that string and her eyes close. Now the nice thing about that is you can customize the eyelids, and I kind of make it match the theme of the doll. So if you can see this one, she has an ombre blue to pink shading that I've put on the eyelid, some silver dots, and then a silver snowflake because she was a holiday winter doll that I did, and I wanted it to be snowy and so, you know, sort of holiday-ish. So that's the nice thing. Now you pull the other one, and that opens the eyelids. The other thing you can do is customize the chips, because as you can see, the chips on these dolls are very plain. They come in like just basic blue or whatever. But you can pop these chips out and put different colors in that are a little more realistic and match, you know, the costume or the look that you want. So that's another customization part of it. As you can see, I did replace this doll's hair with mohair, and that'll be part of what we do. I carved her face, and I want to show you kind of the difference. If you can see the difference in the lips, these are just sort of a plain basic lip. These have been carved to have a different shape, more of a full bottom lip, and more contour to the lips. Also the philtrum, which is that ridge between that goes from the nose to the lips, that's carved out more here. And if you look at the nose, this nose is really pointy. See if you can see it from the side. It's really pointy, And also, the nostrils haven't been carved out. This nose has been rounded, and you can see the carving that's been done to the nostrils. This doll has no eyebrows. I gave mine some eyebrows for more of an expression, and then shaded, you know, the face to sort of give it the look that I wanted, which was sort of a rosy cheek, you know, like she just came in from the cold look. And I actually did make the coat and the hat also for this doll. That's kind of my thing for my dolls that I customize and sell. If you buy a customized doll, a lot of times they just come naked, the doll, that's it, you get. And I wanted mine to come with a whole outfit because some of these clothes, and especially shoes, can be very expensive. And if you're just starting out and you're buying, let's say, your first customized doll, you're going to buy the doll for, say, $300 or $400, you know, and then you have to go back and buy an outfit and shoes. That's another $100 to $200, you know, with, well, she doesn't have panties. Yeah, she has panties on. I put panties on them. I even put, you know, little stockings or tights or whatever on them. So mine come fully dressed and with a unique outfit that nobody else is going to have because I make it. This is another doll that I customized. I used pink curly mohair for her. Something that's a little different. She has this groove under her mouth that doesn't appear, you know, on the regular Blythe. You can see a difference in the expression. Also, she's got a little bit of a cleft chin. I had a little bit of a groove in there, and of course the nose and all that stuff. And then she has the pink mohair. And then her outfit I also made. It's custom, and she comes with custom socks. And her shoes keep falling off, so I don't have them on her. That's another custom doll I made. And then I want to show you this one because she's got like the world's biggest hair. I can't even get it all on the screen. But I just don't want to cut it because I love this hair. And if somebody bought it, you know, and wanted to cut it, they could. But I've just got it sort of clipped up. I've got a couple clips in it right there. But I wanted to show you kind of the cool thing about her eyelids that I customized was, if you can see the design, they match her tights. It's sort of a leopard print on red. And so I did a leopard print on red. And that's kind of the neat thing about the eyelids. You know, you can make them so that they match the outfit. So that's another one that I did. So that's kind of the basics of Blythe and you know, all the options you have for customizing. It's really kind of cool. You know, you get to do some neat things that aren't on them. I always sign the back of my heads and number my dolls so that, you know, they're very recognizable as mine. This doll just has the sort of a purple to, like a dark purple to a lighter purple ombre on the eyelids. Ooh, oh, she has special eyes. I don't know if you can see or not. There's a little metal heart in the center of those chips. And she's got pink eyes and some blue eyes. So you see, it's really kind of a lot of fun, and you know, when you're able to pose them and you have different things you can use. I have like a bicycle and a scooter and all kinds of things you can use to pose them with. It's just so much fun. And the clothing and the shoes out there, I'll have to do a separate video and show you some things I've bought recently that just were so adorable. I'm especially addicted to the shoes. So a couple things happened that made me decide to do this video. When I decide to do things, it's because it interests me. It's not that, you know, okay, somebody's asked about it 14 times. That's not the way it works with me. Unfortunately, a lot of times I just can't do something if I'm not interested in it. If it doesn't spark something in me, and, you know, the artist in me. So what sparked this was I found, my camera cut off again, so I think what I was saying is the couple things that sparked my interest to do customize Blythe as a series is, first of all, I've been wanting to do it. I've wanted to do the customized Blythe, But the other part is I really like to have a theme for the dolls that I'm doing, and hadn't really thought of what my next one theme was going to be. But then I found this coat by an artist on Etsy, and it's a fake leather, but it's just really adorable. Oh, she did the best job. I love it. It's got the belt, and it's got these little pockets, and the epaulets, and I mean, just really did a great job on this coat. And I thought, you know what, that is so steampunk right there. And I love me some steampunk, because I've done a lot of other steampunk dolls on this channel, and I have written steampunk novels, so it's really something I love. So I saw that, and I just also, at kind of a week before, I found these boots, and these are so steampunk. They've got the sort of belt thing wrapped around twice, and then the chain. That's pretty steampunk, and I can add a couple things to it, make it even more steampunk. But I thought, between these boots and this coat, I gotta do a Blythe steampunk doll. So that's going to be the theme of this doll. One other thing, I had this hair that I ordered back when I ordered some of the other mohair, and I just thought, there's going to come a time when the right project will appear for this hair, because it's really strange. It's like a grayish, but it's got strands of brown and black in the gray, and it's really, really straight. I mean, I don't think it's going to curl much, but I think this goes so well with steampunk. I don't know. Maybe, kind of a Victorian updo kind of thing. With some goggles across the forehead. Anyway, so these things all kind of came together in my head, as these things do for us artists. And I said, now's the time I'm going to do my Blythe series, and we're going to do it with making this doll into a steampunk doll. So the doll that I use is not really that important, because we're going to change everything. We're going to change her scalp and put some hair on her, and everything. So it doesn't really matter. I'll use one of my factory dolls, and I'll find one that I don't really care about the hair that much, and that's the one that we're going to use. So the first thing that I want to show you, I do want to get into something in this video that's showing you something, so I'm going to show you how to open the head. So if you'll hang on, I'm going to find a doll, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm going to use this doll, because she's just got, by the way, is that cute or what? That is the most adorable little outfit. I bought this from my favorite online Etsy shop for clothes, which is Diva du Jour. We've talked about her before, and I've shown you some of her work. But what an adorable little outfit. And it came with this necklace, which I can't even get turned around. Yeah, so yeah, I love that outfit. And these shoes, I gotta show you a whole video on shoes, but like, how cute are they? Little fuzzy bunny shoes. Let me put those away. I'm gonna lose them. And let's get this off of her head, so we can get to her head. And of course, it's gonna be difficult. There we go. So she's just got like black hair, and I'm not gonna worry about losing that. I keep the scalp. I can always use it later if I decide to. And we'll go ahead and get her out of this outfit, because I don't want to mess it up while we're working on her. These are just the cutest outfits. Really adore them. I have so many. Just it's like I buy something every week from her. Keeping her business. Anyway, okay, so here's our basic Blythe doll. And the first thing I want to show you is how to get into the head, because it's not always easy. So I have two things that I use. I can use a screwdriver, Although if you're going to use a screwdriver, I'd get one with a longer handle so you got a little bit of torque resistance to get this thing open. Otherwise, I end up having to use my drill. So let's see how this is going to work, because we're going to get the screws out of our head first. And I'll use this to open the screws. If I have to, you might be able to get them off. The other thing I want to tell you to do is to find a small container. And I just happen to have this one because some things came in it. And it's already got a bunch of eye stuff in it. But you want to make sure when you're taking your dolls apart that you put your screws and all the different things in a place where you know they are. Otherwise, you'll lose them because they're going to go flying all over the place. So, the first thing you want to do, let me get this down here. I've got a new tripod, and it's super dedicated to staying in the last position you put it in. It's so funny. Alright, so we've got 3 screws here, here, and here. So I'm going to try getting them off with this. It's not going to. So I'm going to use my unscrew function, and some of these screws are so tight, I really just, there's just no way you're going to get them out. Some of them are not. But if you don't have one of these, it comes, I think I've showed you this before, but it comes, you know, with this little kit, and it's got different heads for it, and also different size screwdriver functions, an extender, and then some basic drill bits. And the nice thing is it just sticks in. Okay, just thought I'd show you that real quick. Alright, so we got that screw out, putting it over here, and then our last screw right here. Take that screw out, put it over there. Alright, now, you would think now that the head would just pop apart, right? No. So, the easiest way I found to do it is to press on either side where the ears are. And sometimes you have to put it down on the table, and you'll hear a pop. And sometimes I do this and it happens right away. And sometimes it doesn't. There it goes. There's a pop over here. And there it popped open. Alright, so I'm going to just take the body and put it over to the side. I'm going to save that little necklace because I really want to show you. And let me see if I can zoom in some. Camera's getting caught up on my light. So you can really see this. Get this straight. Okay. Alright, so you'll feel some resistance, and that's because there's a spring in here. Now, I just take it out because, and I don't care if I mess it up because I know I'm not gonna use it again. If for some reason you think you might ever go back to the spring, and this has to do with the eye mechanism, like if you were not going to put in the sleepy eyes and all that, then you might want to save it. And there's a loop right up here that you would have to undo. I use my hemostats just so I don't get poked. So you can see there's like a little loop. So if you think you might want to keep it, you could take it apart a little more gently than I am. But I know I'm not going to use it for this doll. So you can just pull it. Okay, so there's that screw. Now, there's another screw inside here. Let's see if you can see that. Right there. I don't unscrew that all the way because it's really hard to get that screw back in that hole. So I unscrew it just enough to get this off. I'll see if I can use this, hopefully. It's hard to get the screwdriver thing in there too. This is easier if you have a longer handle screwdriver where you can get some traction going. Because this one, I can't get enough power on it to undo it, but I think I am getting it a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to unscrew it just enough to where it pops out. So if you can see this piece right here, you see how that it's just like a horseshoe shape that fits on there. So I'm going to leave the screw in there so I can just slip it under it when I'm ready, and then I'll be able to tighten it back down. And if I had to, I could unscrew it a little bit more to make it easier. Alright, so we've got these two pieces. Alright, this one we're not going to have to do anything. That's the back of the head. Other than we are going to pull the string out. And I'm not going to use the string, so I'm just going to cut it. If you think you might need this loop later, you could save it. But like I say, I put charms and beads on mine, so yeah. Alright, so we pull that out. You will see also on the back that this still has the stamp from the 2006. This camera going off is driving me crazy. Oh, I need a camera so bad. Anyway, as I was saying, you'll see that the back still has the copyright of the 2006 Hasbro and Company. That's the original Blythe company. So these were the original molds that that company used, and that's what you'll see on all the factory dolls typically. So this one we're going to set aside for now. We are going to sand it and put some, my name and stuff on it at the very end, but that's much later. So now we're going to work on this, and I want to show you, first of all, we want to get this little flipperdoodle, I'll call it a flipperdoodle, out. This is the thing that stops the eye mechanism at the next position. So you can see as I turn it, and then it's got this piece right here has a little indentation, and it catches on that flipperdoodle. Okay, so we're going to undo this screw. Let's see if my screwdriver works. No. My hands don't work as well as they used to anyway because of my surgery, so thank goodness for electric screwdrivers. And it came right out. Now these things, oh, they can get lost so easy. So I do have I think, is that, it might be Sweet Tiger too. Or, I know, Hello Cool Cat I think also sells these flipperdoodles. You can get 5 in a pack for not too much, because these things get lost right regular. And also, one of the things we're going to do is trim the end to get that upward gaze that we want to get. And sometimes you're going to trim it too much. Trust me, especially your first time. So, I am going to put that in with our other screws and everything in here and this little thing. And that's pretty much all that we're going to be taking out. So I'm going to go ahead, put that on there and put that back in my eyeball drawer where I keep it for my Blythe eyes. Alright, so now we're left with the eye mechanism itself. Now to get this out, what you have to do is you're going to have to stretch these two apart a little bit, and then you have to pop. There's a post that comes out from the side of this eye and goes into this plastic piece here, round plastic piece. We're going to have to pop that out. There's so many different ways you could do this, I suppose. But I tend to use my we'll try it with the hemostats. So what I'm going to do is provide some leverage. No, I'm not going to use that. I know what I'll use. Well, I can't find what I want to use. So, I'll go with this. This is just a flathead screwdriver. The same set that the other one is in. And what I'm going to do is provide some leverage. So I want to push down on this with the tip and then press it against the top while this is pulling the side apart. And if you'll see it slipping out, so that was stuck in there. Okay. Now just, you know, I think it would be valuable when you're doing this, like to take pictures with your phone at each step. So you remember, like, okay, this goes like this, not like this, you know. Which way does this thread go through, whatever. Once you've done them for a while, you don't need that, but I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Because if you don't put that thread in the same way, the right way, which is with the knot over here, your eye won't change. It won't pull right. I'm just telling you because I've done it so many times. Alright, so we've got the eyeballs out. I don't usually take the eyeballs completely out of here because it's just another step where you tend to break this thing because you have to remove that, and I don't like to. So a little bit later on when we're working on the eyes, I'll show you how I do that. I do one side at a time. I pop the eyeball out, but I can get the eyes out and I can put the new eyes in with it in this. So the only thing that you're going to have to do to these is I'm going to remove the eyelashes. Sometimes they just pull out like that. If they don't, I use my hemostats to pull them out. I've seen some people soak them in hot water to get them out. I've never had to do that. And as you see right there, I pulled it out with just my fingers. Depends on how it's glued, and everybody makes them differently. But I did want to point out that there is a groove right here, and that's where the eyelashes stick into. So when we put our eyelashes into it, we're going to put nice fluffy new ones in. This is where it goes, and it's pretty easy to get them in. You just put a little glue on your eyelash and stick it right back in there. But that'll be much later on in the show, okay? So I want to kind of stop at this point because we've talked a lot about Blythe, and I've shown you a couple of things to do with opening the face and taking apart most of the parts that we're going to take apart. I'm not going to really take this anymore apart other than popping the eyes out. And to do that, I'll just tell you right now, all you do is, oh, that's not the right screwdriver. You're just going to use leverage again and get underneath the eye and pop. You see how there's a thing sticking into this thing? I'll pop that out. And I just pop out one side at a time when I'm working on the side here, because you have to do some cutting to this to help with that upward gaze that we're going to do. So I'm going to show you all that in another video as we work on these dolls, but for now I want to stop, and next week what we're going to do is we're going to start working on molding the face and how we carve it, sand it, finish it, etc. So we're going to take this in steps. Hopefully, if you don't have a doll, maybe you could get one, although if you order it from China, it's going to take about 4 weeks. So if you don't, maybe you already have a Blythe that you'd like to customize. That would be great. And if not, you can always refer back to these videos if you want to. But we're going to take this step by step so you know exactly what to do, and you could do a great customization of your own. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. That helps us a lot on YouTube. And as always, don't forget to subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing, and I'm going to turn you into Blythe lovers. See you next time.